AE 1601, Glider Project, Joseph Martino, Liam Gleason.
The design requirements/rules for the glider project. It was outlined in the assignment that the glider must be made primarily out of the balsa wood provided, fit within a 16 by 16 inch square, and remain intact during flight. The minimum requirements for the final flight was that it had to go at least 20 feet. The glider also needed to not break when landing.
Design process. So we started with laying out all the things that we wanted for our design. So we wanted the largest wingspan possible, that being 16 inches to meet the requirement, and the ability to adjust the position of the wing to make testing a lot easier. So what we decided to do is we ended up 3D printing holders for those wings. We printed a couple different versions. We decided to go with elliptical wings with a wingspan of 15.9 inches. We wanted to stay under the 16-inch limit so we don't break the requirement, and a chord length of 3 inches. The chord length was the width of the stalk of the balsa wood that was given. That's how we decided that. So we wanted to maximize the lift of the glider. Elliptical wings were chosen for a couple of reasons. They had an even lift distribution, which would help with roll stability. They have maximal aerodynamic efficiency, according to our sources, which we have linked at the end. They also have reduced tip drag that helps the glider produce more lift, meaning that it flies further. So you can see on this slide, I have the balsa wood after we cut it and the wood dowel, and I also have our photo for checkpoint 1. So we designed 3 different wing holders that would hold both of the wings and allow us to use to adjust their position. So as you can see, there's a little screw on the bottom. We can just unscrew that screw, move it up and down the length of our glider, and then we can tighten it down. It'll hold the wings right in place. And we just tape the wings. We tape the wings to the holder, and that's how the wings would stay on the holder. So we designed 3 different ones. One of them had a 5-degree dihedral. The 5-degree dihedral was to help with roll stability again, and the 5-degree dihedral holder also had 4-degree angle of attack. The second wing holder had a 4-degree angle of attack with no dihedral, and the third one had no dihedral and no angle of attack. We tested each of the holders outside of the AMS, and then tragedy struck. The dihedral broke during testing, and due to time constraints, we did not 3D print another dihedral to use. So we started testing again with the 4-degree angle of attack and the no degree angle of attack. They both performed very similarly, but the 4-degree angle of attack slightly outperformed the no angle of attack, and we'll include a clip of that here. Okay, and then so for the tail design, we found that it was best to have the tail be 1/3 the area of the main wings. That's the horizontal stabilizer part. We went to elliptical design again because it would have the same benefits as the main elliptical wings would. So the wingspan of the horizontal stabilizer was 5.5 inches, and the chord length was 2 and 1/8 inches. And so for the vertical part, we just did half of the horizontal stabilizer, and that had a half of the length, so it had about 2.75-inch long with the same chord length. After we somewhat finalized the design by choosing the 4-degree angle of attack wing holder, there are 2 things that we did need to still find out. The best position for the wings along the body, and the best place for the center of gravity to be relative to the center of pressure generated by the main wings. Here are some clips from testing.
2, 3. Position
We marked 4
4.
different positions along the glider. After testing, we found that position floor 4 flew the best. The center of gravity that we found to be the most optimal with our glider was having it be 1/3 the chord distance down the wing. Ultimately, position 4 did fly the farthest at about 50 feet on average. So after all of the testing was done, we were ready to do the final flight. On the day of the final flight, we flew 51 feet. That was amazing, and our glider flew like a dream. Here's the clip of that now. After everything was done, we had to calculate the lift and drag coefficient for the wings. A form was given to us that included the equations that we were supposed to use. The first thing that we had to do was convert every single thing that we had to metric. So for the coefficient of lift, we had to do 2 times the weight, which was 0.075 kilograms. We have to divide that by the density at sea level, which is 1.225 kilograms per meter cubed. Then we had to do velocity squared, 6.15 meters per second, and then the wing platform area of 0.02335 meters squared. This gave us a lift coefficient of 1.31, which is actually really good. For the induced drag, we also used another equation that was provided to us. We divided the lift coefficient squared by pi times 0.9 times the wing aspect ratio. This came out to be 0.087. The total drag was assumed to be double the induced drag. That means that the total drag is 0.174. Final thoughts about the project. So here's a summary of our project. Our glider met all the design requirements and achieved the final flight of 51 feet. We designed elliptical wings with a 15.9-inch wingspan, a 3-inch chord for maximal lift and stability. The tail was elliptical as well, with the horizontal section sized to be 1/3 the area of the main wings. After testing various wing holders and configurations, we found that the 4-degree angle of attack performed the best. By fine-tuning the wing placement and the positions of the center of gravity at 1/3 of the chord distance, we achieved consistent and stable flight, surpassing the 20-foot minimum put forth by the professor. Things that we would do differently next time. Next time, we would like to test different wing types. We weren't able to do that this time because we were only given a limited amount of balsa wood and a limited amount of time. If we were given more balsa wood that we could use for testing, we could cut different types of wings like square shaped wings. Maybe we could also make an airfoil. An airfoil would be really cool, but it would add a lot of complications and it would require a lot more time. We would also like to try a different tail design next times, as we want the most simple thing that we could think of. Here are the sources for everything that we did. And thank you for watching, and yep.